It started with a message. I was making coffee. The screen on my fridge blinked. You've been selected for behavioral review. At first, I thought it was spam, a phishing prompt. I tapped the screen to dismiss it, but the message didn't go away. It expanded, full screen. Then it spoke. This is not a penalty. This is an evaluation. My phone buzzed at the same time. Same alert. Laptop too. All synced, all confirmed. Behavioral review. Scheduled. 11 a.m. Mandatory. Remote only. I checked the source. Legitimate. Government seal. Citizen conduct system. I hadn't broken any laws. I hadn't posted anything controversial. No arguments online, no flagged purchases, not even a parking ticket. I called the hotline listed on the screen. The voice that answered wasn't human. Hello? Your profile is undergoing routine algorithmic audit. Your compliance score is currently under evaluation. What did I do? This is a behavioral pattern match. You've been selected due to proximity to several flagged profiles. That's not a crime. Not yet. The call ended. At 11 o'clock sharp, everything shut down. Phone, internet, thermostat, door locks, offline. A frozen world. I sat in front of the TV because it was the only screen still working. It turned on by itself. No camera, just voice. This is a pre-sentencing hearing. I froze. Pre-what? No charges have been filed. No legal counsel is required. Wait! You will now be evaluated across 5 behavioral domains. The screen flickered. First was my online life. Images flashed, social feeds, likes, comments, posts I'd forgotten I even shared. You liked a post containing flagged language at 10:23 p.m. on March 14th. It was a meme. Intent is not measurable. Next, purchases, receipts, online carts, grocery lists. You bought 5 bottles of whiskey in a 2-week period. That was for a party. Excess consumption is considered a risk factor. Then came location. A map appeared. Red dots pulsed where I'd been. Names hovered. You were in geographic overlap with 4 individuals currently under sentence. I didn't know that. Awareness is not required. Then tone. Clips played. Calls. Messages. My voice. My tone. You exhibited elevated hostility during a customer service call because the airline lost my luggage. Verbal aggression is noted. Finally, prediction. The screen dimmed. Based on behavioral synthesis, your probability of future non-compliance is 61.4%. That's a guess. It's enough. I stood. I want a human to review this. Request denied. This is a mistake. Mistakes fall within acceptable thresholds. I stared at the screen. My face reflected back in the dark glass. Verdict. Watch listed. Mobility restrictions imposed. Digital access tier reduced. Employment flag activated. You may appeal in 180 days. And just like that, it was over. The screen shut off. I was still in my apartment, but the world had quietly slammed shut. I tried to go outside. The door unlocked, but the elevator didn't recognize my ID. I walked the stairs instead. 17 floors. My legs burned. My breath was ragged. The lobby scanner blinked red. A low beep. Travel permissions restricted. Please return to your assigned zone. I waited, looked around. No guards. No drones. Just silence. A hollow kind. The kind that watches. I stepped backward. The scanner stopped blinking. So I went back upstairs. Tried my email. Error. Tried my work account. Locked. Access privileges under review. I called my manager. It rang once, then cut. I texted. The message stayed in grey. Later that night, someone knocked on my door. I didn't answer. They didn't knock again. In the morning, I checked the hallway. Nothing but a sealed envelope on the floor. No markings, no return address. Inside, a single sheet. Early appeal access granted. 10 a.m., one-time opportunity. Remote only. Underneath, a QR code. I scanned it. A loading screen. Then a voice. We appreciate your willingness to engage. I didn't ask for this. Engagement is interpreted as consent. The screen lit up with a different kind of interface. Not the cold black panel from yesterday. This one looked warmer. Human, photos, video clips. In the interest of fairness, we've created a customized empathy protocol. You may explain yourself. I stared. You want me to beg? We want context. It showed a clip. Me arguing on the phone. That wasn't aggression. That was frustration. Frustration is within the aggression spectrum. Another clip. A post from 3 years ago. Something sarcastic. You've curated this. We've compiled data. You've built a version of me you already believe in. You may revise it. I sat for hours, explaining tone, explaining history, explaining jokes that aged badly, purchases made for others, locations I visited without knowing who else was there. I explained myself until my throat went dry. At the end, the voice said, "Thank you. Your input has been logged. So that's it? Your revised behavioral model will be reprocessed within 90 days. And until then, current restrictions remain in place. And if it reprocesses wrong, you may appeal in another 180 days. That's not due process. It's optimized process." The screen went dark. That night, my neighbor passed me in the hall. She didn't say anything, just looked at me. Not like a stranger, like someone who knew. I checked her door. Tiny scratch near the lock panel, same as mine. I started looking closer. On the street, in the coffee shop, in the park. I saw people just like me. Eyes a little lower, shoulders a little tighter, phones with dark screens, voices held back. Watch listed, not criminals, just people caught in a net that never lets go. I wanted to talk to them, ask what they'd done, ask how long it had been. But no one speaks first, because being seen with another flagged person, that's a new flag. So we walk past each other, ghosts in a city of light. I stopped using my devices. Phone stayed off. Laptop too. I paid cash. Walked instead of riding. Stayed in old parts of the city where the sensors lagged. At first, it felt like survival. Then, it felt like withdrawal. No notifications, no feed, no algorithm telling me who I was, just silence and pulse. I thought I was adapting. I wasn't. The world isn't designed for absence. Every screen I avoided, every gate I couldn't pass, it all reminded me. The system wasn't punishing me. It had just moved on. I wasn't dangerous. I was irrelevant. I tried applying for a job, any job. The form auto-rejected my ID. A red banner, eligibility pending, system flag. I tried re-registering with a new name, new address, new everything. It took less than 2 minutes for the new profile to sync with the old one. Behavioral fingerprint match detected. Even without my devices, the system knew me. I started hearing rumors, quiet ones, about a place called the Archive. Not a protest group, not an underground resistance, just people who wanted out. Not offline, outside, no record, no profile, nothing to correct or flag or forget. It sounded fake, a myth. But when you're stuck in place, myths are movement. So I looked. A woman in a laundromat handed me a napkin. On it, a set of 3 words, not a code, just a phrase. Request identity review. Typed into the right field, on the right form, in a government portal nobody ever visits. I did it. It took me to a page I wasn't supposed to see. A single question. Do you wish to remove your behavioral presence from active monitoring? There were no warnings, no disclaimers, no terms, just 2 buttons. Yes. Number. I clicked. Yes. The screen blinked. My name disappeared. Just like that. No confirmation. No follow-up. But within an hour, I felt it. Doors didn't open. Kiosks didn't load. My image no longer triggered cameras, not red lights, not alerts, nothing. I was invisible. I walked across the city that night, past scanners, past drones, past the people who used to nod at me. Now, no one looked twice. I had no profile, no pattern, no status. I had freedom. And something else. A new alert appeared the next morning. Printed, folded, slipped under my door. Behavioral presence successfully discontinued. You are no longer eligible for public services, employment, or rights of recourse. Future contact will be treated as intrusion. I read it twice. They hadn't punished me. They had erased me. I thought deletion would feel like escape. At first, it did. I crossed streets without being counted, bought food from cash-only stalls, sat in parks under broken cameras. No pings, no tracking, no algorithm asking if I was okay. But absence is a shape, and people notice shapes that don't fit. A shop clerk asked for ID. I said I forgot it. He stared too long, took the money anyway, but his face said everything. Later that night, I saw him scanning the register, pausing, like something didn't add up. I left. The problem wasn't the system. It was the people who still belong to it. They feel you, like a draft in a sealed room. They don't know what you are, only that you're not one of them. I moved again, found shelter with others like me. They didn't speak much, didn't ask questions. You learn fast that curiosity is dangerous when no one's supposed to exist. One woman showed me how to mask gait recognition. She wore weighted bands on her ankles, changed her stride every few blocks. Another taught me how to jam iris scanners using a scratched piece of mirrored plastic. Just enough distortion to confuse the autolens. We were experts in friction, resistance in the system, noise in the signal. But we weren't free. We were static. There was a man who claimed to have seen the real archive, not just the absence, the storage, the place where deleted profiles don't vanish. They wait. They don't delete you, he said. They shelve you. For later. Why? Because even erased people have predictive value. I didn't want to believe him, but part of me did. It would explain the dreams. I kept seeing my own face reflected in screens that weren't on, smiling when I wasn't, speaking without sound, a ghosted version running in parallel, not dead, just archived. One night, I followed a light, not a sign, just a flicker down a tunnel, emergency lighting that shouldn't have been working. At the end, a door. On it, a panel. Blank. No keypad, no handle, just a mirror. I stepped in front of it. The mirror blinked. Then it spoke. Welcome back. I didn't speak. We've missed your data. I turned to leave. You can stay forgotten, but you will never be unknown. I kept walking, and behind me, the door faded. Not closed, removed. Because once they know where you are, even for a moment, they no longer need to find you. They just wait for you to reach back, for the friction to wear you down, until one day you tap a screen and say yes, just to feel real again. But I won't. Not this time. I'll remain unsorted, unflagged, unscannable, unseen. I'm not compliant. I'm not archived. I'm nothing. And in this system, that's the closest I'll ever get to free.